Today's June the 24th, 2014. My name is Tanya Finchum, along with Alex Bishop. We're from Oklahoma State University, and today we're in Pryor, Oklahoma to speak with Ray Hampton. And this is regarding our Oklahoma 100-Year Life project. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you for...
Let's start with having you tell us when and where you were born.
I was born on Grand River in 1913.
And what month and day?
November 26th.
Okay.
And what day, I don't know.
And what did your parents do for a living?
They was on the farm.
And did you have brothers and sisters?
I did have, but not anymore.
Well, how many did you have?
I had 8 sisters and 6 brothers.
And where were you in the order?
Number 9.
Number 9. Can you describe the house you grew up in?
Well, I don't know. It had a kitchen and a living room, and I don't know how many, 2 or 3 bedrooms. I don't know. God, we used to sleep crook this way, that way, and everything away in the bed you ever see. With that many people.
That was going to be my next question. Where did you sleep with that many brothers and sisters?
Well, anywhere you could find some place.
Well, how was the house heated?
By a stove.
Wood?
Yep.
And in the wintertime?
No electricity.
Running water?
No running water. Had a well out there, you know, you draw it up with a big long bucket.
And an outhouse?
Yep.
With that many children, was it a 1-seater or 2?
1.
So you had to get in line, huh?
Well, either that or go out in the timber.
Number 22.
And what did they farm?
Well, we raised corn, wheat, oats, hay, stuff like that. And then my mother had a big garden. We had all kinds of fruit and stuff that she canned and everything, and we killed hogs and cows and stuff, you know. The only thing we ever bought would be sugar, coffee, and pepper.
Pepper.
And that's about it.
And where would you go to get those things?
Store.
But in Pryor or?
Well, yeah, mostly every Saturday we'd go to in a wagon from there or down, go to Pryor. It's about 12 or 14 miles.
And that would take you all day to do?
Yep. And we'd all have lunch always there and stuff. And then in the summertime, on Saturdays, always take a cake of ice back and have about 4 gallons of ice cream.
That sounds good. You had to, was it the crank?
Yep.
You had to crank?
Yep. Crank, and somebody sat down on it. Yep.
What flavor?
Vanilla.
Or what were some of your chores?
What?
Some of your chores?
The stores in Pryor?
Your chores on the farm. What did you have to do?
When I was 7 years old, I was out with a team of horses pulling a plow. And I was picking cotton. I picked corn. I helped bale hay, ride a horse around the thing, you know. Them times they had, it was one guy on each side of it putting the straws, you know, the strings in, or the wood, it wired then, but it's string now, and they push it through, and the other guy, different, and the guy up there, you know, tromping the stuff in, and a thing going around with a plunger. I'd ride a horse sometimes on the plunger, and I'd ride the go devil, you call it, down and bring the grass back up.
Go devil?
And I'll pick cotton, and I've done anything. Milk. Rode a horse to get milk, cows back in, you know, milk and stuff.
How early in the morning would you have to get up?
Early. Yep. When you had the milk and stuff and feed.
And do that before you went to school?
Yep.
Where did you go to elementary school?
Right over here at the little school of Welch, where one teacher taught 8 grades.
And how many kids in the class?
Well, there was a lot of kids, you know, all the farmers' kids and stuff, up to 8th grade.
How would you get there?
Walk.
And how far was that from your house?
Well, I'd say it was about a mile and a quarter.
What would you take for lunch?
We take sandwiches.
Well, with 15, I'll do my math, 15 children,
Yeah.
your mother would be quite busy, wouldn't she?
Yep.
How did she do laundry for that
With
many?
a rub board like this.
Rub board.
Hanging clothes out in the wintertime, it'd freeze, you know. I don't know how she done it all myself.
And bath time?
Yeah, we either take a bath out in the tub or go down to the river. Only about quarter mile or so to the river down there, and we jump in there and take a swim in the summertime, but you couldn't go down there in the wintertime.
So how would you do it in the winter?
You'd have to boil water and get in a tub.
Like at one of those round number 2 tubs or whatever?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, what was your favorite subject in school?
God, well,
did you have one?
You learned more by listening to what they done the grades ahead of you, you know.
That's true.
But if you done stuff then, you got the tail whip. But now, they can't even touch a kid.
Paddling?
Yep, that's not right. That's what matters to kids right now.
Did you get paddled?
Yep, lots of times. On the rear and on the hands and everywhere else. Then most generally you got one when you got home.
You got 2 then.
Yep.
So you went 1 through 8 there. Where did you go to high school?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then we, when I was 10 years old, we moved to the big town of Salina. All my brothers and stuff all got married away from the farm, and I was the oldest one there, so my dad didn't want just him and I doing all the work, so we got rid of the farm and moved to the town.
Oklahoma?
Well, yeah, Salina over here, you know, over here about 10 miles.
Okay. Well, let's back up then. How did your parents come to be in Oklahoma?
My dad, mother and stuff was on the Trail of Tears.
Oh,
Cherokee.
Cherokee?
Yeah, he was born down in Fort Gibson.
Okay.
That's how come here.
And then the farm was allotted land for them?
They got land from the government. My dad and 3 of my brothers and 1 of my sisters all got land. I was born 6 years too late to get in. I was born 13 and they closed the roll when they began to state in 1917, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or 19 and something. That was, I think 7 years.
Well, were you in FFA or 4-H when you were in high school?
No.
Being on the farm?
No.
Did the county agent come to the...
Yeah. I still got the 8th grade when I graduated out of the 8th grade from Salina, you know, still got the grades and everything in there, you know. Yep.
Well, was your mother a member of a homemaker club?
No, there was a club making, every time it made quilts and stuff, you know, hanging down from the ceiling, you know. They go to one another's house, farmer's house, you know, and do one, then they go to their house and do another one. Yep.
So she sewed a little bit?
Yep. Well, yeah. Steam one year, you don't have like these people around with all these pants on with holes in them and stuff. She'd fix them. If I knew that, I could have made a fortune by saving some ham clothes. They cost more than a regular would do. They do.
They do.
Yep, right.
Well, do you remember your first tractor?
My first what?
Tractor?
Well, we never had a tractor.
So the farm, okay.
No. But I worked doing wheat harvest, and they used tractors, you know, and stuff to run the stuff, you know, grind the stuff up, the wheat out and stuff. But we never had any.
What about your first car?
Model T.
New or used?
Huh?
New or used?
Used.
Used.
Yep.
Was church an important part of your childhood?
The churches then?
Church.
Oh, church?
Yeah.
Well, we always went to the Methodist back there, but, you know, it finally burnt down and they built another one, but we all went to, we only had 2 churches back there when I was in school, but now they got, I don't know, about 15 or 20.
Well, after high school, what did you do?
Well, I went to the, I quit school when I went in the I went to the 30. Well, you know, I liked, 2 or 3 years, 2 years staying long enough. So 3 of us joined the Army.
Okay.
Well, we didn't have nothing to do, no way to make any money, and we didn't make any in the Army anyway, so $19 a month, so that was a lot of money then.
Where were you stationed?
In Cheyenne, Wyoming.
That's a little ways from Oklahoma.
Yep. And I was in there, yeah. I didn't like it. In there I wanted out, so I got out 5 months and 29 days. And I got $87 travel, almost more money I ever had in my life.
Did it take all of that to get back home?
No, rode the bus and stuff. No, didn't cost that much. You could buy stuff cheap them days. Coffee you can buy for 25 cents, you know, a pound and stuff.
So what year was that you were in the Army?
Let's see, what was it?
Don't look at me. I have to go look it up.
30. We left Southern in 36. It must have been 32 or 30.
Kind of during the Depression time?
Yeah, well, it's Depression all the time. I was raised up in. I worked a lot of days driving a truck hauling gasoline for $1 a day. What do you call that?
Yeah. You knew what you had to do, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So World War II, you weren't in the service during World War II.
No, I was building B-17 bombers
Where were you doing that?
in Long Beach, California.
And how did you get from here to there to do that?
Well, we left Solano over here in 1936 and went to California. I had 2 brothers out there, so my dad wasn't doing nothing here, so they said come out there, so we went out there.
So you were Okies in Oklahoma then?
Well, Okie from Oklahoma, yep.
And what was your job?
Out there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, God, I'm telling you, I'd have to sit around here and write you a whole string. When I first went out there, my brother worked at the sugar mill, so we got out there on a Sunday, so he got me a job, and I went to work the next day, handling 100-pound sacks of sugar all day. And God, I don't know, I picked oranges and lemons for 12 cents an hour and 10 cents a box. I picked walnuts. I've done everything in the world you see. My sister and I had cleaners, and I was in a concrete business once, and stuff. I've done a lot of stuff.
Well, when you were making the bombers, what was your job? What part were you doing?
I don't know, I was doing 4 or 5 different parts. Sometimes I was the boss and stuff, and sometimes I was working. And when they quit making, you know, during the war, why, that's where I made my mistake. I was sent down, the only one out of the whole bunch that was working, to a guy down there that they just started making passenger planes. And I sat down there for 2 or 3 days, didn't do nothing, so I just said, well, I quit. That's what I should have stayed. That's where I made my mistake.
Making more planes.
I could have had a lifetime job right there.
Well, what did you do when you quit?
Well, I went to work for one of my wife's brothers, doing carpenter work and stuff in the concrete business.
Well, then we should back up and talk about how did you meet your wife?
Well, friend of mine, we went to a dance in California at the American Legion one night, and a friend of ours introduced us to a couple of girls and stuff. So she was born in Arkansas, and they moved to Elk City, and then they moved to California. I met her.
And got.
We was married for 71 and a half years.
So what year did you get married then? I have to do
What
the
was
math.
it, Rod?
My math.
I don't want to go in there and look on the wall in there and tell.
In the 30s or 40s?
No, it was in 30s, I think.
39, wasn't it?
39, he thinks.
Well, no, I forget. He can tell you in a minute.
So then, when did you move back to Oklahoma?
Let's see, 202, I think.
So where did you live before you
Well,
came back here?
I retired from the sheet metal and heating and air conditioning. When was it?
June the 8th, 1939.
39.
39.
Yeah,
Yuma, Arizona.
yeah. I had insurance, he didn't have no insurance on his deal, so I said we'd go back here, move back here so we can get Cherokee's insurance, so that's how come I was here.
So you moved back to Oklahoma
Yep,
in 2002?
Yeah.
2004.
November the 22nd or 3rd, I forget.
So you were in California up until that time?
Yep.
No.
Well, no, we was
in
over in
for a
Arizona,
while.
and it was up in Oregon. We moved, I don't know, 3 or 4 times.
But Oklahoma's home?
Yep. But people are sure a lot different now than they was them days. I mean, yeah. Them days, if somebody got sick or something on the farm, yeah, everybody went to help doing his work and stuff. Now they won't even do nothing. I got tired out there one day walking up the corner and back, and I lean over again my mailbox out there, and these 4 cars went by and didn't even stop or nothing. I mean, the neighbors around in here, they don't care about you anymore.
That's kind of sad, isn't it?
But them days, everybody helped one another. And if a guy told you, he said, I'll be at your house certain time of the day, he'd be there. But no, won't do that now.
Well, what would you do for entertainment and fun?
I don't know. A lot of times we went to dances and stuff.
Barn dances.
Barn dances, square dances?
Square dances, yep.
Not ballroom dancing.
No, square dance.
I don't know where in Mays County you'd have found a ballroom to dance in.
Square dance.
Even today you couldn't find one.
And
Yep.
what was the music? I mean, they have a band or?
No, yeah, guitar and the fiddle.
Oh, the fiddle.
Country Western.
Old country music. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, have so many in a ring and stuff, you know, and have a car. When we was in American Legion over in Salina, everybody had their own car, you know, home bunch and stayed, you know, and they done their own calling. One guy in there done all the calling stuff. But a lot of times they only have one up there sitting up there on the stage, you know, calling all of them. But we didn't. And sometimes you go to somebody's house and they take out all the furniture and dance all night. You ever do that?
No.
No, you used to. Yep.
On linoleum
They don't
or
do that
hardwood, I
anymore
guess?
either.
She's too young for that kind of stuff.
Huh?
She's way too young for that kind of stuff.
I went with my grandmother clogging a couple of times.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yep.
But they don't do that much anymore either.
Yeah. Yep.
So in California, what did you do for fun?
For friends?
Yeah.
Fun.
Fun.
Oh, fine. I don't know. We went to shows. We went to dances out there too.
Okay.
Yep.
Bowling.
Yep.
Bowling.
Yeah, he
Yep.
was a
Go
bowling league.
fishing and stuff.
So where in California were you?
Well, we moved to Orange
Okay.
and stuff, and it was population 5,000 people when we moved there. Now it must be what? 500,000.
Too many.
Can't tell when you get out of one town into another. Yep.
There's probably 5,000 people in that apartment buildings down there on the street from Wilson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So when you retired, what were you doing?
Doing heating and air conditioning.
And do you remember about what year that was that you retired?
Let's see.
Or how old you were?
70 something, I think.
Yeah, you broke your foot in,
Yeah.
let's see, I was at Robinson's in Anaheim.
I worked at a factory that makes heating and air conditioning and floor furnaces and stuff.
Well, those came in handy in Oklahoma.
Yep.
As hot as
I haven't done nothing since.
Probably 78, I think, is when he retired. Somewhere in that neck of the woods. The first time.
The first time?
Yeah, he got a part-time job working at a car auction.
Yeah, after that.
Just for something to do.
Well, the guy second door from me was working over there. Well, they had a car auction over there, you know, and he got me to go over there working. So finally, working, 1 or 2 days, and then finally I got to working 4 or 5, you know, just part-time and stuff. But something to do, making a little extra money.
So,
And then when he moved to Arizona, he quit and they sent him a pension check every month since, which he didn't expect. He was going to get that.
so in Arizona, were you in a retirement community or?
No, we had a house and stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
And you picked Arizona for any particular reason?
Huh?
And
But-
the reason you
Well,
chose
yeah,
it?
because a friend of mine Barbara, friend of mine, was going to move out there, and he got me going out there one time, and my wife went out there, and we played golf and stuff. So he bought a house out there, and he got me to come out there. So I bought one and stuff, moved out there too. And 1 year out there was 128 degrees. But he's still there.
One of your niece's husband,
Huh?
who was that guy that did the tile work with Joe? He's related to Elmer, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah. But that's it.
So it was sort of some family, sort of, kind of, sort of.
So finally it got too hot for my wife, so we moved back to California.
Okay.
And then from there we moved here.
Except it's cooler there than it is here.
Well, yeah. So that's it.
So, and how many children did you have?
Got one and a daughter. I got 2 granddaughters and 1 great-granddaughter. That's enough. Nobody got into trouble, so can't ask for anything better than that either.
No.
Nope.
Who was the disciplinarian?
Huh?
Who did the discipline?
Well, it wasn't very much, but
Mother.
They were good kids, huh?
Yep. We never had any trouble at all. If one of these kids, one of them was ended up being arrested or starts crying or stuff, out the door they'd go. But now they turn them loose or let them cry or get around on the floor. They go down there with their hands on the floor and then put their hands in their mouth and stuff. You don't know that they pick up stuff off the floor. Mine never done that. Yep.
You teach them right.
So I got 2 good kids, 2 good granddaughters, and that one up there.
And they keep you on your toes.
Yep. I went up there and called him Pawpaw.
Well, did you ever think you would live to be 100?
Nope.
Nope, not
Nope. Not when I was growing up.
Well, when you reached 99, did you think I'm going to do it?
Well, yeah, I figured then, but
Well, of all your brothers and sisters, did any of them make it to 100?
no.
Oh.
Let's see.
Bunch were in the 90s.
My mother was 94.
Grandpa
My dad was 94, and my mother was 96, and I got 1 brother was 97.
In the genes, some.
Yep, and I'm the oldest one.
Do you have any idea what your secret is then
Nope,
to living
nope,
longer?
No.
No.
It's either what I've done or something, or somebody. They always say somebody's up there, so he must be up there. He must like what I've done and stuff. So that's all I know.
Is there anything left on your list that you want to do?
Yeah, I'll live a little longer.
Besides that, though, anything else?
Well, yeah, I'd like to see my kids more, growing. That one up there especially.
No place else you want to go or visit or?
Well, no. I've got one nephew that's
He's not a sightseer.
Cousin that's been overseas, him and his wife, in about 35 or 40 different countries and stuff. I don't care what they do over there.
No, I think it's more than that.
Well, I don't know, but they go over there one of these days. They're going to do like that airplane that they can't find. I said when they lost it, I said they'll never find it.
Well, today, on a typical day, what do you do?
Do what?
On a typical day today, what do you do?
Like I'm doing right now. Either that or I go down there and do a little work in the timber or something,
Some lady sits there every day and asks you questions? I don't think so.
Well, no.
How early do you get up?
Around 6 o'clock.
Way too early.
That's it.
Yep.
And then what do you do when you first get up?
Well, first time I go in there and start making me some coffee.
Okay, coffee.
And fix me some breakfast. Then I go to the bathroom or take a shower, make up the bed, come back and sit down.
And how do you spend your time during the day then? TV or read or what?
Well, no, I don't read much. I read the paper, but I haven't got the paper in a long time. I go out to the mailbox when it's raining or something and not there, so I just quit ticking it and stuff. And I watch television.
They're not very reliable, the
No.
paper deliverer person.
And they won't bring you one. Well, they bring you one 2 or 3 days later. Well, you need it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I finally quit.
And what time would you go to bed?
Well, most generally I go to bed about 7, 8, about 9.
Okay.
Sometimes 10 if a ball game's on I want to watch. I'll stay up a little bit later.
I understand you have a routine at lunch.
A what?
A routine at lunchtime.
Well, we go to lunch every day, yeah.
That gets you out of the house for a little while.
Yeah.
Do you still drive
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah. If I was in Pryor, in Tulsa or California, I wouldn't drive.
But Pryor you can.
But I drive around here, stuff, I want to go somewhere.
How did you celebrate your 100th birthday?
That's that black book there. That's his 100th birthday.
Had a big party, huh?
Yep.
That looks like an honorary little boy.
Yep.
The chief of the Cherokee Nation was there.
Yep. I've got myself picture in there when I was 2 years old on a horse. And I've got my picture now when I was 99 on a horse. So I'm going back over there and get on another one. When it gets a little bit warmer.
Well, when you were younger, do you remember the name of your horse?
Yeah, Squat.
Squat?
Yep.
Squat?
Yep.
How in the heck did you come up with that
Well,
name?
I don't know. That's what it is.
And
If I'd fall off when I was going to get the cows. They just stopped till I got back home.
And we're giving Jack a hard time for the names of them racehorses.
Well, I know.
Squat?
Was it black or brown or what?
I like brown.
Brown.
Yep.
Sure looks white in those pictures.
Well, that was that white one I was sitting on when I was little.
That's a different horse?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not Squat. Oh.
No, that's not.
That's a big old white horse.
That's a
he's
bigger
sitting on.
horse. Yep.
Well, what were holidays like back in your childhood?
Well, I don't know. We never had much to do on holidays when I was growing up and stuff. A lot of times my granddad used to live in Iowa down here, so we'd get in a wagon sometime and go down and stay for 4 or 5 days, and
That's a
stuff. Had a
2-day
lot of
trip,
fun
I
down
think.
there and stuff. take you all day to drive down there, on a wagon and stuff, so but we went. Yep.
And the roads, how were the roads in that time?
Huh?
How were the roads at that time?
A lot better than some of them right now.
Better than all of them except for a couple.
They was all gravel road then. Yep. But now, the gravel roads are better now than some of these other roads. You ever been through Pryor over here?
Today.
Down the Main Street?
Today.
That's the worst Main Street in the town I've ever been in, and I've been in a lot of them. They say they're going to fix it this year, but I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, Virginia City's been there for what, 100 and...
The what?
Virginia City, Nevada's been there for what, way over 100 years, and the road's smooth as all
Yep,
through
yep.
town.
Even Salina over there's got better road. It's Highway 20, same as the one goes through here.
Down Salina, there's nobody over there.
Yep. And they had a theater in Salina where you can go for a dime,
Do you remember any movie you saw?
Oh yeah, a lot of westerns and stuff, They'd have to change reels, every time and stuff, and it was pretty nice, yep.
No talkies.
Sometimes you could slip in for nothing. Yep. You gonna put all that stuff?
We're working on it.
You asked about religion
who in the
earlier.
world is that guy?
His great-grandfather on his mother's side was a Baptist minister.
His grandfather on his mother's side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I meant his great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Did I miss a great?
I may have. Great-grandfather.
Yeah.
You have any fond memories of your mom or
Any
dad?
what?
Any fond memories of your mother or father? Anything you remember?
No, well, the only thing my granddad always done for breakfast, he'd always drink a hot cup of water. Now why, I don't know. He wouldn't drink no coffee, nothing else but hot water every morning. Now what that does, I don't know.
I guess you can't afford the coffee.
And how was he when he, how old did he live to be?
I don't know. Do you Rod, remember how old granddad was?
Which one?
Your mother's dead.
My mother's dead?
Yeah, well, no.
Your mother's dead.
My mother's dad. Grandpa
I'd have to
Roberts.
look. I think he was in his 90s.
So that may be the secret then, drinking hot water.
Nobody else did it.
Yeah, well, there's some other people that does too, I found out. But
Yeah,
why
but
it does, I don't know.
None of your family did that.
No, I know that.
'Cause I'd
You,
ask,
you
that-
could take
that
my
would be
dad
strange.
into a restaurant of a morning and you always want coffee, but you tell him, don't bring it till you bring him food.
Now you had a story last time I was here about your father and a hat.
Oh, yeah. What if a guy do that now, they throw him in jail.
What did he do?
Well, over there in Salina, him and another friend over there used to go quail hunting. So one day they came back from quail hunting and they was out there right in the middle of town over there. And there was a whole bunch standing around, and everybody got to talking and stuff. So Dad had a shotgun. Well, the other guy did too. And one of the guys had a brand new straw hat on. So one of the guys there picked this guy's hat off his head and throwed it up in the air and said, "John, look at there!" And Dad shot the whole top out of it right there in the middle of the town. And then pretty soon this guy got Dad's hat, put it out there and set it afire. Now they'd been thrown in jail for shooting him out there in the middle of town, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Did you get him a new hat?
Huh?
Did you ever buy him a new hat?
Nope. No, he bought his own. Well, I could have took a shotgun or anything to school with me if I wanted to in them days. You don't bother nothing. We took knives, played mama pag and stuff,
Played.
But now, mama pag, you put the knife open up and, flip it down and stick it in the ground and stuff with over your nose or head or stuff, You never do that?
No.
Oh, God, that's a lot of fun.
I keep telling her she's not old enough for that stuff. She may not have even pitched pennies.
Huh?
I said, she may not know what pitching pennies is.
No, you just take a knife like this, and put it like this, and drop it down there and stick it in the ground, and stuff. Or anything you wanted to.
And was there how did you know if you won or you didn't?
Well,
or
if-
what?
if-
Stuck in the ground for one thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Well, we played a lot of things in school. Throw snowballs and everything else, But now every time if it snows that deep, they won't have no school. Because we went to school when it snows that deep.
Pop,
Gotta walk.
it doesn't snow as thick as that thing is thin around here when they cancel school.
Well, I know that. Why, I don't know.
Well, and if you got
Bunch of
a
wimps.
pocket knife, people don't carry pocket knives anymore either.
No, I know it.
No, TSA owns them all.
See, you're not supposed to carry that one like that will open without you doing this. But I always got one. But I've got a big one down there, same way.
Yeah, Grandpa and Uncle John used theirs to clean out
But
the
you gotta
pipe.
press that before you close it.
Clean out their pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad used to smoke a pipe.
They
and
spent more
cigars.
time messing with it than they ever did smoking them.
No,
They'd puff a couple of times and then go out, and then they'd sit there and play with it for 5 minutes or so,
no,
and get it to go again.
none of my kids smoke cigars or pipe or tobacco.
Do you ever have any family traditions or customs that go back to the Cherokee, your Cherokee heritage or
No.
anything?
We never had nothing, No. I've been back on a lot of where the Trail of Tears is. We've got some kinfolks back in what places back there where they've got them still buried back there in that tract, got all them houses at it now. Just out of Atlanta.
That's, hang on a second.
Just out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, that's Duluth, but
They owned a whole bunch of land there, and the government took that away from them, and her and 2 of her kids are buried on one lot out there.
our line through his father and then grandmother goes through the Corbury line. And off of the Corbury line comes the Rogers, which is Will Rogers' debt line. And this lady that's buried there, and I can't think of her name now, but it'll come to me maybe before we leave. She was married to one of the Rogers. And her and 2 of the kids are buried on this little
hill.
I call it, it's not a tile.
Well, it's a little knoll.
I call it a knoll. And they put all these expensive houses in there. Well, they're gonna
The government
tear
took that
those
away
up,
from
and
them.
a guy in genealogy there in town went to the state, and they got them to fix it so they can't build on that lot. So there's one lot among all these houses sitting there.
Well, some guy wanting to build was going to build a house on it, see? So
They're
wife
just
and I-
marked by flat stones.
My wife and I was back there one time. I stopped and talked to some policemen there, asked them where the street was, so they told me, and I was down that way looking, and one of them came down there. And he said, follow me and I'll show you where it's at. So we got down there, it was up on a little knoll. So my wife said, well, I can't get up there. And the policeman said, no, I'll help you up there. So he said, I never knew this was up here. Said, I'll have to tell my kids. And they're still buried there. They didn't have no stone, they had rocks and stuff in there. And some guy was going to build a house on that one, but they can't now.
That Rogers had
Yep.
something like 1,200
They do
acres there,
anything to
and he
do
had
with the Indians. They took all that whole thing left away from them, and there's
a
2-story
ferry
houses
across the
all in
river
there
the Chattahoochee.
and stuff. So, well, my grandmother and great grandmother was on the trail, and my my granddaughter, my grandmother, was 2 years old, wasn't she? I think.
Somewhere on there.
And her mother carried her most of the way.
Did they pass any stories down to you from that experience?
Well, no, I didn't know anything about it for years and years. So till he done most of the
Did some research?
find about it. Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that never got talked about. I found out all kinds of interesting tidbits after the fact. You thought a cousin was a blood cousin. Turns out it was half instead of the whole, because part of the picture wasn't like you saw it, but nobody ever said anything about it. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
And the government, to build a railroad back there on our land, they give the railroad every section land, every other section land, to build a railroad on there. So after the Cherokees and everything, they took them out of there. Well, they finally got a settlement on it, and they sold all that land for 3 cents an acre. My dad and my brother and sisters got, I think, $100 and some a piece out of it. That's what you call a government. Then they come out here and gave them 14 counties in this whole state, and they said, this is yours till as long as the grass grows and the water flows. It's still growing and the water's flowing, and they took all this away. See? When they had that run out there, you know, that's the reason they call Sooners. That used to belong to the Cherokees. Then they took all the land, most all of it here. The only one that got the land was Osage's up here. They got the rocky ones up there, and they found
nobody
oil.
wanted that land. That's why they got to keep it.
And they got oil. Each one of them up there gets a ride check every month.
You can't plant nothing up there.
No, but they got oil. They got money. You used to buy a car, if something goes wrong with it, they just dump it and go buy another one. They did. You know, you'd find cars along the side of the road and stuff.
That's
you know.
back there when you could buy a brand new Model T for what, $400?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When I was good enough, you could get a new car for $300 or $400. That is, if you had the money. Yep.
Well, with 15 kids in the family, you guys didn't have the money.
Well, no, we didn't.
No, we
No.
didn't sell buses then. That's what they'd have needed, was a bus.
Yeah.
Well, the way my dad done back there, he gave each one of us kids so many rows of cotton. You know, when we picked the cotton, the price that we can get for that cotton. We got a little spending money.
And where was the cotton gin?
In Pryor.
In Pryor.
They had one in Salina, but mostly they had one in Pryor, and they had, but they don't have them anymore, and that's the reason they don't raise corn or cotton or wheat or nothing around here anymore.
Yeah, another
There's nowhere to do it, you know.
had
You
a
go out in the western part over here now,
cotton gin.
they do that.
Well, what would you spend your money on? Who's
Well,
got it?
I don't know. I didn't have too much, but you know, my brother would get part of it. One of my older brothers would get part of it.
I thought you just said Grandpa gave each
Well,
one
he
a
did,
row or two.
but Mom would take care of it, and they'd get money from her, and probably never get it back. We
I don't
wouldn't
think
get a
they're gonna
whole
get it
lot,
back.
but
She's
you know.
dead, and so most of them, or all of them are too.
Yeah,
So
well, no, whatever.
Well, you talked last time too about in Salina about a bank robbery.
Yeah, well, yeah. The bank robbery, a little bank over there, I don't know how much money they had, and they don't have a lot of money anyway, so I and another friend walked in there one day when he was being robbed, and he was the first one in, and he found what it was there. Well, he ducked under my arm, out the door he went, going hollering up the street, "Bank being robbed, bank being robbed." So they got the money and took off, so they got one of them, the driver, coming back through town that afternoon, and they was had him in the bank, you know, asking him a lot of questions. So he finally told him where the other two would be, his brother and some other guy, and they caught him up in St. Louis, somewhere up there asleep. Then the next time it was being robbed, we was back behind the bank down on the corner down there, watched it, you know, when they come out. Yep.
Was Salina kind of a crazy criminal town back in the day?
Well, they're a pretty rough town. Yep, yep. There's a lot of fights going on and stuff. A couple of guys down there at one time, we was about 5 or 6 of us sitting on the curb down there, and a couple of them was drinking a little bit, and they got in argument and stuff. One of them took a knife and just done this way, it just fell out, so he had to hold him like that till they brought an ambulance from Bonita over there to pick him up.
that's not a very good conversation piece.
Huh?
I said, that's not a very good thing to bring up for a conversation.
Well, I was just telling you how the Pryor, you said,
Just say he got cut and they had to wait till the ambulance got here from Vanitas, which was probably a day or two back then.
well, that happened, so.
Times were really different back then in terms of.
Absolutely, yep,
Problems were handled.
Yep.
Well, yeah, when he was a kid, they had telephones, but the operator knew everybody in town. She
Didn't
knew
have
where
no-
everybody was, too. You say,
Didn't-
ring Joe's house for me. Oh, Joe's over at Martha's.
Yep.
So she just
Well-
connects you over there, you know.
Yeah, all you do is just dig this way and say, give me so-and-so's house, and that's all you had to do.
Yeah.
Nobody, and when we lived on the farm, everybody had phones, but it was all one, every time when it rang, everybody was, you couldn't have no secret. You
Well,
know,
you
because
did
when the
for
phone
about
rang, everybody
20
get on there and
seconds.
listen to who it was.
How would you know if it was for you? Two rings
Oh,
and
God,
one
I don't
long,
remember.
a long ring and two
Yeah, there was
shorts or
different
something?
rings.
I don't remember, but, you know.
Well, pretty much everybody ignored that and picked it up to see what was going on.
Yep. Same way with Selina. You call her and say, give me so-and-so's house. And the guy wouldn't know, they didn't have no street numbers on the street down there either.
We had no street names.
No names and stuff. The guy said, where's so-and-so live? Well, you go down there, so-and-so, and you see this brick or laying there, well, that's where you turn, just down there. That's the way they do it. Nobody locked their house. They didn't have locks on the door even. Nobody stole nothing.
If they did, they wouldn't live long enough to tell about it.
Yep. Well,
Especially if they stole an animal like a cow.
you
or
had a lot more fun
pig
them
or
days
horse.
than you do now. You know, you could do a lot of stuff. Firecrackers and stuff, you know. You could buy a whole bunch for, if you had a quarter, you could buy one shoot all day, but now whatever, you can't buy one for a quarter anymore. And they won't let you, they won't let them shoot a firecracker works on the 4th of July in the state of Oklahoma.
No, you can't have a public display.
Public,
Now, I can't understand that one iota. That makes, there's a lot of stupid laws in this state. That
like,
one
you know,
really I
when
don't
they
understand.
have fireworks during the 4th, it's supposed to be, you can't have one on the 4th of July. In the
Isn't
state
that
of
the whole
Oklahoma.
idea of the 4th of July is to celebrate it, not the day before or after? I'd like to meet that yahoo, but I'm sure he's did, or her, or whatever it was.
Same way when beer first came out, you know.
Do you remember those Prohibition days?
Yep, you could buy a bottle of beer for a dime. And if you was in a place where every time the guy come around delivering, you know, with the beer and stuff, he'd give you all you could drink for nothing.
Now, was bootlegging a problem up in through here?
Yep. They had bootleggers all over the country. Go up and buy whiskey for $1 a gallon.
Still is big business.
Yeah. Muskogee was a big.
Huh?
Muskogee was a big bootlegging area.
Yep, all these places was, you know, around.
The
Yep.
government- the
And
government
some of them
Salina,
made home brew up there too, you know, and buy that for 10 cents a bottle. Yep.
The guy over there in Salina was the bootlegger, plus he owned the liquor store in town.
Yep.
So he had covered both sides of the tracks.
Well, when they made Grant,
I run around.
Grand Lake, yeah.
I run around with a friend over there all the time, and well, he sold a little liquor once in a while and stuff, and him and I drank and stuff, and I found out his son lived here, and I'd never seen his son before, so he met me down at the restaurant one day, and he asked me what his dad, you know, done, and I finally got around. I said, well, he sold a little bomb. My dad was a bootlegger, and I haven't seen the guy since.
he's,
Well, one of
he's-
your uncles got arrested over in Arkansas for running
Yeah, he's a boozer, yep.
for running moonshine.
Well, that was no, you know, no shame about that. There were a lot of people sold it.
and you called it what?
Bootlegging,
No, but he sold a little,
Moonshine.
little moonshine,
no, but he said, called it something else, a little,
white,
mu-
Oh, homebrew?
Homebrew? Yeah. Homebrew, yeah.
That's beer. Two different.
Yeah, it's two different things. My dad made the homebrew one time, and he bottled a little bit too green, and it exploded in there, and he had foam in there about that deep. Yeah.
I don't think they probably did much bathroom or bathtub gin in Oklahoma, I bet.
A lot of people sold whiskey and stuff them days and stuff, you know. Do anything to make a living.
They have pop-up little like flea market stores around this area.
No,
You talking
no.
about the bootleggers?
Well, some people would have that.
Nope.
Kind of down in Muskogee, I think we heard they had.
No, I think it was more you had to know somebody to tell you where to go. It wasn't,
Yep.
like you said, like the
If
lemonade
you want to
stand
know
in
what's
front of the
going
house.
on in your town, just ask a guy
bushman.
driving a cab. He can tell you. They can. If you want to know anything, you drive into a new town, you want to ask him what he does here, he'll tell you.
There was a taxi cab in Salina?
No,
Oh, I didn't think so.
no. But I mean, that's got him. You ask one, he'll tell you what's going on, or where stuff is, and everything else.
Don't try that in New
They
York.
gotta know. Yep.
What was the favorite meal that your mother cooked for you?
I don't know anything, I guess.
Had to be chicken?
Well, yeah, she cooked chicken, cooked steak, you know. And if you want some ham or something, she'd have sacks that like that, and put all in there, hanging up in the storehouse. Or cut you off some, and go in and cook it. Eggs, we had chickens and all that stuff, you know.
They actually had a smokehouse
Yep.
and
Yep.
smoked it.
Yep. And every time one of the farmers would start either killing hogs or cows, well, everybody come and help him, and they get part of the meat, and if they do the same thing, they just keep on doing, you know. So everybody help one another. Now they won't help nobody. Come on.
Well, for refrigeration, what would they use?
Well, we didn't have any.
That's what, yeah.
A lot of people had cellars and stuff, you know, that they'd put it in, because you sell cooler and stuff down in there.
Or can it?
Yeah,
Would
they can it, yeah.
Can the meat too?
Yep. And they'd smoke it in the smokehouse, you know, and you wouldn't need nothing. So it'd all be in the smokehouse.
Well, your mother had to can quite a bit in order to feed
Absolutely,
that
yep.
many kids through
Yep.
the winter.
Yep. And stuff. And she done it all by herself. And washed all them clothes with rubberboard and stuff, you know. I don't know how she done it.
That's probably
I bet you couldn't get women to do that now.
You bet you what?
I said, I bet you couldn't get women to do that now.
The
Use
Amish do.
rubberboard?
Yeah, huh?
The Amish do.
Who?
Amish.
Well, yeah, well, they're different, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah, but if the electricity would go away, it wouldn't bother the Amish one bit.
well, no, it wouldn't bother them.
They'd still eat and thrive just like they have done for
Yep.
eons.
And a lot of their houses and stuff, they use them for churches. They don't even pay income tax on that. I mean, property tax on that house. So, I think I'll turn this into a church.
So you've been told.
You never seen nobody like me, have you?
Well, what's your motto in life?
I don't know.
Your philosophy? Do you have something, a philosophy you live by, or a motto? I don't know.
No, I just like to have fun.
And you know, if history were to be written today, what would you want it to say about you?
Would what now?
If history were written about you today, what would you want it to say?
Well, it could say that I never done anything that I was ashamed of. But I've done a lot of stuff I wouldn't do, but I'm not ashamed of it. So, I don't know. I've had a good life.
Sounds like it.
Yep. I see. I've always said you can always see somebody worse off than you are, younger. I haven't had to. He hadn't had to take me to the bathroom or push me around yet. I don't know what he will or not. I hope he will, or I hope I don't have to. I like to have fun like anybody else.
Did you play practical jokes on people?
Well, some, yeah. Yep. I've got a lot of stuff I could tell you, but it better not.
And it's obvious that you're still a parent. Even at 100, you're still a parent. Right?
Yep.
I think you'd agree, right?
What do you mean, who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
She's up there.
This here be the boss. My younger sister.
Well, she thinks she is, I guess.
And then, if she's not available, let's see. This one here will take over, and this one here thinks she's the boss, but I'll leave the rest of that alone about her. It's not good when you got 3 A personalities. And all
Well, you
3
get
are
along pretty
always
good.
right.
That's right.
No. Yep.
My sister still thinks to this day that I'm making it up that Oklahoma has 3-2 beer. She says, why in the world would a brewery make beer just for one state? I said, don't ask me. I wouldn't. She said, that can't be. That's just not right.
Yep.
Anything you want to add before we close out?
No, I've had it enough.
She keeps looking at you for a prompt, like, you got anything else? She's running out of questions.
Well, did they treat you pretty well in California, being from Oklahoma?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Okie wasn't a derogatory word?
Well, a lot of people, but it doesn't bother me or stuff.
It depended on where you were.
Yeah, they always say, okay, what is it? Okie from Muskogee. That's.
Yeah, but that was written in a bus on a napkin.
Yeah,
That's
him and another guy, a friend of his, was on a bus going towards Muskogee down here one time, and this guy happened to look over there by and he said Muskogee. So they started writing that song. They got it wrote before they got to Muskogee.
On a napkin.
Yep. Okie from Muskogee. Yep.
No, there were signs
Earl
in California about Okies. But see,
Merle
since
and a friend of his.
he already
on the
had
bus.
brothers out there,
They wrote that
made a difference, see, and they
going
had
down
a place
on
to live.
the bus.
They weren't camped out on the shoulder of the road and stuff. So.
Yep.
That's true.
It's just like when he was a kid, they had signs over there in Salina, I think Pryor too, that said, I won't use the wording they use, but the black people better be gone before the sun goes down.
And they did too. The only ones that we were ever seen over there, they come over when they have ties, goes under the track to be loaded on the boxcars. They come over and load them out, but before that sun went down, they was gone. Pryor and Salina both. But they still got, I don't know how many towns in Oklahoma that's black.
Not as many as there used to be.
Well, no, but there's quite a few yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, there is.
And there was a big KKK outfit here in
But-
Pryor.
But what got me about the blacks, they're just good, I guess, as anybody. They got a living and stuff, but we had my wife kinfolks over in Arkansas, so we was over there one time and we was down at the courthouse and stuff. And the drinking waters on one of the side of that in there was for the blacks, it was hot water. The other side was cold for the whites. Now that's not right either.
Nope.
but they done it.
That was in the 50s,
Yep.
or the early 60s, one of the two.
And then used to, my wife's dad and them, when they lived here, they'd go back to Arkansas on a train. When the train pulled into Arkansas, the train stopped and all of the blacks had to get up and go to the back. That wasn't right either, but what could you do about
How
it?
about the porters on the train? Because there was a lot of blacks that were porters on the trains.
Well, I
Did
don't
they
know.
have to quit working and go to the back of the...
I guess they did,
That makes no
but
sense.
that's what they said. I never wrote it, but they did all the time and stuff, and
You,
said it always stopped before it got to the border.
you
and
rode the train, just not inside.
said blacks all to the back. Same thing with streetcars and stuff. I rode streetcars a lot of time, you know, and they're in the back.
He didn't tell you about his freight train ride.
Yep. But what could you do about it? Nothing.